Hi there, I'm Brother Quick. Welcome to my basement as I run through this really quick video that we put together on how to use Zoom Webinar with the OBS machines that we are using for Sacrament and General Meeting broadcasts at Fredericksburg Building and at Massaponax Building. Apologies, we had to throw this together really quickly. We were going to do a more involved training, but the church webcast system is down for some reason. They don't know when it'll come back. So everyone has to switch to Zoom in a hurry. We'd been testing Zoom for Chancellor and Fredericksburg, but we hadn't really rolled it out anywhere else yet. So in a hurry, here you go. First and foremost, just so you know, there's no change at all in how you actually manage a meeting. The Scarlett still handles the audio for you. OBS still handles the cameras. And you can still mute and everything like that just using OBS. So once you're in the actual meeting, the behavior is exactly the same as what you have now. Zoom just kind of runs in the background and does its thing. But to get Zoom going itself, there's some steps you have to take, and you have to take them in a certain order to make sure that everything is working. Video, for example, is very easy for Zoom to pick up. You would think it would be the harder one, but it's not. Audio is kind of a nightmare. It took a lot of configuration on the Linux side. I've taken care of that for you, so that when the machine boots, those pieces are already done. But I'll show you what to look for just in case. But there's certain steps you have to take, and the order matters, so that first OBS is putting audio into the right place, and then when Zoom is running, that Zoom can pick up the audio from the right location once you're going. It's not too hard, and I figured the easiest thing to do would be able to walk you through it. So here you go. Hopefully, the last thing to remember is everyone has a different Zoom account. So don't click the keep me signed in button on Zoom when you see that, because someone's just going to have to sign out that to get to there. If you sign in with the wrong person, you'll be able to launch meetings, but you won't be able to launch your meeting. So whereas it used to be that each building had the same streaming key so that anybody could start the meeting anytime you wanted and it didn't matter, that's changed for Zoom. Every ward has their own Zoom account, and you can only start the webinars from that account. So keep that in mind as we go. So thanks a lot, and off we run.
Okay, the first thing that you want to do is to make sure that the virtual sources are there. They should be there from the time that we boot the system, because I've configured it to do that, but if they're not, this could be a problem. These are the two that you're looking for. They're called virtual mic monitor. If they're not there, then definitely nothing is going to work. So you don't really need to do this step unless there's problems, but I wanted to show you how it works. Okay, for Fredericksburg, the next thing that you're going to do is enable noise suppression, because it's pretty loud in there. So you do that by turning on Cadmus like I'm showing here, and setting it to suppression level 20 and putting it on top of the Scarlett. Once it's on, then you can go and check that it's on there. You'll see that it's up there like that, and it's running. All right, now the next thing that we do, this is usual for what we usually do, and that's launch Chromium, not Chrome. This is where we have camera control set up, so that these are remembered. So you want the live view on both if you're in Fredericksburg, and if you're in Massaponax, you want the clock cam or the regular camera controls like you're used to. Both of those will be run in Chromium. For this, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this window just to make the screen capture a little bit easier. Once you're done with that, now you can go ahead and launch OBS. And what we're going to do here is just verify the sound and the output settings, and turn on the sound and output, the video output. We're going to turn those on, but we're not actually streaming anymore. So the first thing we're looking at is in settings. You want to go to your audio settings, and you want to confirm that the output or the monitor output is set to the monitor of null output. It should be the default now, but just make sure. And once you're done with that, you want to start the virtual camera. This makes it so that OBS is essentially broadcasting locally, but not streaming. Once you've done with that, then you're going to launch the Chrome browser. It'll probably ask you for this authorization. That's just the login password for the Ubuntu user. Just punch that in, and you should get a window that asks you who's using it. In this case, I'm going to demonstrate using Chancellor's Ward. So we go with that. That'll go there. It's already signed in for itself. You can use that for other stuff, especially if you need to do a presentation or something using Google. But now the fun part comes. You launch Zoom. Zoom's going to pop up just like it normally would. You're probably used to. We're going to go ahead and sign in, but don't save your sign in. Again, I'm going to demonstrate this using the Chancellor Ward login. So just give that a second. And once you get that, Zoom should pop up as it normally does. And then you can choose to start your webinar, which is what we're going to see in the next step here. So go to meetings down at the bottom. And you should see your webinars ready, and you can just choose its start. And it's going to go ahead and launch that. Now, I usually move the window over to the other screen at this point, so I can manage them over there. So I'm going to do that really fast. And now you're basically just running inside of Zoom, but I'm going to show you how to make sure all the pieces are working. So right now you're not showing videos connected. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure you start your video, and you're going to use the dummy video, which is coming from OBS. So as soon as you click that and start your video, you should see the OBS window. Now ignore what it shows here. There's a bug in the Zoom client that it looks like it's not all the way in there, but it is. So if you attach to the Zoom as a client, you'll see that what you see is exactly what's in the OBS window. And then for the microphone, you're going to choose that virtual mic at the top, which is the monitor of null output. And that's going to wire you in the audio into what you have in Zoom, or in OBS, which is what you want to see. And now you should be broadcasting, so you can test some transitions like we're going to do here. So you'll see that the transitions went back and forth. And now you're just managing the Zoom session just like you normally would. So when you're done with Sacrament Meeting, you can close it, and you're finished.